Peace, 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 everyone. My name is Michael Jordan, and I am the Sirius Alchemist. Excuse me, the Sirius Alchemist. Back with another video, back with another Thursday night book review. And today's book review, family, is the Hermetica, Ancient Wisdom of the Pharaohs. The Hermetica, the ancient Greek and Latin writings, which contain religious or philosophic teachings ascribed to Hermes Trismegistus. Introduction, text, and translation, edited and translated by Walter Scott. Family, this is a must-have. This is a must-have in your library. This book is really just is worth having in your library. I'm kind of lost for words when it comes to this book right here because I have learned so much from it. The Hermetic text date back probably about 25,000 years, probably even earlier, according to some scholars. This is like some ancient wisdom of the priests, the ancient wisdom of the priesthood that was in ancient Egypt. And you know, them brothers was some very high initiates and had some very high knowledge. You feel me? So first off, I'm gonna start off by reading what's on the back of it, and then we're gonna go into a ancient prophecy that's in this book. And I want to read to y'all an ancient prophecy that's in this book. And it's going to be pretty interesting. But first, I want to start by reading the back, a little something about the author and his work. So I always, as I always do, family, I always read the back and give you a little background on the author, right? So this book, first published in 1924, this classic work contains various Greek and Latin writings of religious or philosophic teachings attributed to the Egyptian sage Hermes Trismegistus and addenda. It is said that these teachings are records of private, intimate talks between a teacher and one or two of his disciples. The setting was in Egypt under the Roman Empire, among men who had received some instruction in Greek philosophy, especially the Platonism of the period, but were not content with merely accepting and repeating the dogmas of the orthodox philosophic schools. Instead, they sought to expound a philosophic religion that would better satisfy their needs. Included here are the libelli of the Corpus Hermeticum, the Asclepius, the Hermetic excerpts in the Anthologium of Stabaeus, and other fragments. The entire text is produced in the original Greek or Latin with an English translation on facing pages. Walter Scott, 1855 to 1925, a classical scholar, devoted much of his life to the study of the Hermetica. So family, this is really an important work to have in your library. And you're going to find out once I read you this ancient prophecy. And like I said, this prophecy is 25,000 years old, right? So keep that in mind. So this was prophesied by the ancient priests. You know what I'm saying? It could have been one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't remember. Because remember, the people that got this knowledge was custodians of the knowledge for us until we woke up. Because we fell asleep for a minute. You know what I'm saying? We fell asleep for a long, not for a minute, probably won't describe it, but we fell asleep for a minute. Some of us still asleep. So I want to read this ancient prophecy to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just bear with me. It's kind of long, but it's deep at the same time. So I want y'all to bear with me, through this. It's a little bit long, but trust me, it's going to be worth it in the end. So let's get it. Okay. Now it starts out, it says, did you know this is Hermes talking to Asclepius, right? One of his students. And this is Hermes talking to Asclepius. He says, do you not know, Asclepius, that Egypt is an image of heaven? Or to speak more exactly, in Egypt, all the operations of the powers which rule and work in heaven have been transferred to earth below. Nay, it should rather be said that the whole cosmos dwells in this our land as in its sanctuary. And yet, since it is fitting that wise men should have knowledge of all events before they come to pass, you must not be left in ignorance of this. There will come a time when it will be seen that in vain have the Egyptians honored the deity with heartfelt piety and assiduous service. And all our holy worship will be found bootless and ineffectual. For the gods will return from earth to heaven. Egypt will be forsaken, and the land which was once the home of religion will be left desolate, bereft of the presence of its deities. Now, what is Egypt now? What he just said. I'm going to read that one more time, family. Egypt will be forsaken, and the land which was once the home of religion will be left desolate, bereft of the presence of its deities. This land and region will be filled with foreigners. Not only will men neglect the service of the gods, but and Egypt will be occupied by Scythians or Indians, or by some such race from the barbarian countries thereabout. So family, look what's in Egypt today. Look over there right now. You know what I'm saying? That's not our race. That's not us over there right now. That's some people over there claiming they Egyptians, and they get mad because Kevin Hart go over there and do a show and say the Egyptians was black. Now they mad at Kevin Hart. So this prophecy is 25,000 years old, family. This is what I want to get y'all to understand. And I want to read this one more time. I want to read this part one more time. It said, Egypt will be forsaken, and the land which was once the home of religion will be left desolate, bereft of the presence of its deities. This land and region will be filled with foreigners. Not only will men neglect the service of the gods, and Egypt will be occupied by Scythians or Indians, or by some such race from the barbarian countries thereabout. Now that's what it says on page 341 in the Hermetica, family. On page 341. So these ain't my words, this is Hermetica. They coming from me. And it says, and Egypt will be occupied by Scythians or Indians, or by some such race from the barbarian countries thereabout. Now look at Egypt right now. That's not us over there, family. We know who's over there. Now why they mad every time they say the Egyptians is black? Why? Why they mad when they do this little movie in The Mermaid, The Little Mermaid, and the leading role is a black woman, and they mad? You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna finish reading this. Check this out. You're gonna know why. They knew this 1,000 years ago, family, that we would be here in a land in the West, right? That we would be here in a land far away in the West, right? In the future, a land that would be in the future. And this is what this prophecy is telling us what we would see. I'm gonna continue to read. It says, and Egypt will be occupied by Scythians or Indians, or by some such race from the barbarian countries thereabout. In that day will our most holy land, this land of shrines and temples, be filled with funerals and corpses. To the most holy Nile, I cry to thee, I foretell that which shall be. Swollen with torrents of blood, thou wilt rise to the level of thy banks, and thy sacred waves will not only stain, but utterly fouled with gore. Do you weep at this, Asclepius? There is worse to come. Egypt herself will have yet more to suffer. She will fall into a far more piteous plight, and will be infected with yet more grievous plagues. And this land, which was once holy, a land which loved the gods, and wherein alone in reward for her devotion, the gods deigned to sojourn upon earth, a land which was the teacher of mankind in holiness and piety. I got to read that again, family. A land which was the teacher of mankind in holiness and piety. That was black folks, family. And that ain't me saying that. That's the book saying that. That's why you got to study this stuff, and you'll find out who it was. And you can walk around here and know who you was and wonder why these people hate you so much, and why everybody's against you, why they keep trying to push this damn lie. See what I'm saying? When you get stuff like this, you can shut that shit down. Shut that shit way down. But let me see, where was I at? It says, and this land which was once holy, which It said, this land which once was holy, a land which loved the gods, and wherein alone in reward for her devotion, the gods deigned to sojourn upon earth. A land which was the teacher of mankind in holiness and piety. This land will go beyond all in cruel deeds. It says, the dead will far outnumber the living, and the survivors will be known for Egyptians by their tongue alone. What do they mean by that? That means people going around confessing the Egyptians just by their mouth. You know what I'm saying? But it says, it goes on to say, it says, and the survivors, it says, the dead will far outnumber the living, and the survivors will be known for Egyptians by their tongue alone, but in their action, they will seem to be men of another race. Now, who is that? Now, who the hell is that? They will be Egyptians by their tongue alone, but in their minds, they will be men of another race. Who the hell is that? If that ain't us, if that ain't black folks. You know what I'm saying? If that ain't a lot of us. You know, not most of us that study and read and know who they are, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of us out here lost don't know who they are. Okay, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me continue. It says, and the survivors will be known for Egyptians by their tongue alone, but in their actions, they will seem to be men of another race. And it goes on to say, O Egypt, Egypt, of thy religion, nothing will remain but an empty tale, which thine own children in time to come will not believe. Now tell me that ain't true, family. A lot of these kids out here, you can't tell them that the Egyptians was their ancestors. You can't tell them that because they've been stained. They've been stained by this education system. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell them that was them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't believe it. And it says again, Egypt, Egypt, O thy religion, nothing will remain but an empty tale, which thine own children in time will come will not believe. Nothing will be left but graven words, and only the stones will tell of thy piety. So it's basically saying only the stones will tell of Egypt's greatness and its goodness. It'll be left in the stone. We have to look for the stone. We have to look back to the stone to see the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to tell the truth in their schools. They're not going to tell the truth in their television. They're not going to tell the truth nowhere. But you remember what they always say, if you want to keep something from a black man, put it in a book. Cheap game, that's why I get no money. To me, this is currency, these books. This is currency. You know what I'm saying? For me. And pretty soon you ain't going to be able to get these books. So you better get them now while you can, because it's going to be a time you ain't going to be able to get them. You feel me? So let me, you know what I'm saying? Let's continue. It says, nothing will be left but graven words, and only the stones will tell of the piety. And in that day, men will be weary of life, and they will cease to think the universe worthy of reverent wonder and of worship. And so religion, the greatest of all blessings, for there is nothing, nor has been, nor ever shall be, that can be deemed a greater boon, will be threatened with destruction. Men will think it a burden. Talk about studying mysticism and occultism and just, you know, education in period, and being educated in the higher sciences, in the mysteries, right? It says men will think it a burden and will scorn it. You know how many people brothers just don't want to read. That's why they putting all this shit is in books. And these people were custodians for us to wake up, because they knew we was going to our ancestors knew we'd wake up and come back and get it. So this book, you got to get it, family. I'm telling you, Hermetica is deep. This is a 25,000-year-old prophecy I'm reading to y'all right now. Okay, now check this out. Let's continue. It says, in that day, men will be weary of life, and they will cease to think the universe worthy of reverent wonder and worship. And so religion, the greatest of all blessings, for there is nothing, nor has been, nor ever shall be, that can be deemed a greater boon, will be threatened with destruction. Men will think it a burden and will come to scorn it. They will no longer love this world around us, this incomparable work of God, this glorious structure which he has built, the sum of good made up of things of many diverse forms, this instrument whereby the will of God operates in that which he has made, ungrudgingly favoring man's welfare, this combination and accumulation of all the manifold things that can call forth the veneration, praise, and love of the beholder. Darkness will be preferred to light. They're saying in this time, darkness will be preferred to light, and death will be thought more profitable than life. No one will raise his eyes to heaven. And check this out, family. It says the pious will be deemed insane. The pious, that's us. The pious is us. It says the pious will be deemed insane and the impious man wise. Hey, tell me, goddammit, if that shit ain't right now. Tell me people ain't looking at this European that came and robbed the world with all this money, looking at him like he ain't the greatest thing walking. When he stole everything he got, he didn't get it with integrity. He got it by theft, robbery, and murder, and kidnapping, and every other term that you could think of. That's how he got it. Okay, let's continue. It says, where was I? It says, guys, yeah, okay, let's see. Yeah. He said, darkness will be preferred to light, and death will be thought more profitable than life. No one will raise his eyes to heaven. The pious will be deemed insane, and the impious wise. The man will be thought a brave man. You hear that? The man will be thought of a brave man, and the wicked will be esteemed as good. Now tell me that ain't today's time we living in. Them people on the news telling every day lying their ass off. Wicked, wicked. You know, people taking children. Wicked, wicked. You feel me? That's the day. This prophecy is real as hell. It's saying, okay, let's continue. It says, and the wicked will be esteemed as good. As to the soul and the belief that it is immortal by nature, or may hope to attain to immortality, as I have taught you, all this they will mock at. So he's saying all this about, we talking about our soul being immortal and everlasting life and all that. He said people out there and mock at you, mock at that and laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? Because they caught up in this flesh. They caught up in this physical flesh. So people gonna laugh at that and mock at that. Like he said, he says, I gotta read that again, family. It says, as to the soul and the belief that it is immortal by nature, or may hope to attain to immortality, as I have taught you, all this they will mock at, and will even persuade themselves that it is false. Right? No word of reverence or piety, no utterance worthy of heaven and of gods of heaven will be heard or believed. You hear that? Ain't nobody gonna be thinking about that kind of stuff. And so the gods will depart from mankind, a grievous thing, and only evil angels will remain, who will mingle with men and drive the poor wretches by main force into all manner of reckless crimes, into wars and robberies and frauds, and all things hostile to the nature of the soul. All that shit is hostile to the nature of the soul. Family, y'all heard what it said? And so the gods will depart from mankind, a grievous thing. That's what it says, a grievous thing. And only evil angels will remain, who will mingle with men and drive the poor wretches by main force into all manner of reckless crime, right? Into wars and robberies and frauds and all things hostile to the nature of the soul. Then will the earth no longer stand unshaken, and the sea will bear no ships. Heaven will not support the stars in their orbits, nor will the stars pursue their constant course in heaven. All voices of the gods will of necessity be silenced and dumb. The fruits of the earth will rot, the soil will turn barren, and the very air will sicken in sullen stagnation. After this manner will old age come upon the world. Religion will be no more. All things will be disordered and awry. All good will disappear. Y'all hear that, family? That's a 25,000-year-old prophecy I just read to y'all. And you really got to read it for yourself, because me reading it to you is really taken away from it than actually reading it for yourself, reading the pages on the word. But I told y'all, family, it's 340, it's page 341, because I got that tab on it right there. And it's Hermes talking to Asclepius, his student. You know what I'm saying? He's telling him, he's prophesying, because remember, the priests, man, they were masters, gods. They had the they have master prophecy. They can see into the future. And imagine what they saw. Imagine what they saw we would go through. You know what I'm saying? When this beast came along and kidnapped and raped and pillaged everything. But now Big Mama's on the scene. She finna take it back. But yeah, family, get this book. This is a must-have in your library. If you want to know the truth and you study and you want to know the truth like me, this is part of that path, the Hermetica by Walter Scott, edited by Walter Scott. And this is the real text, but it's got the real text on one page, and then it's got the real Greek on one page, and then the English translation on the other page, family. So you can read it in the Greek too, if you know Greek, which I know a little bit. I don't know enough to read it fluently like that, but I can take a word or so, you know, and match it up. But that's probably about it. But I know there's some folks out there that can read it fluently. But so this book is a must-have, family, the Hermetica by Walter Scott. So that's going to end my video for tonight. My name is Michael Jordan. I am the Sirius Alchemist. If you'd like a read from me, I'm going to leave my email in the description box. If you'd like a herb, try my herbs, I'm going to leave my email in the description box. Hit me up in the email. My name is Michael Jordan. I'm the Sirius Alchemist. Peace.